Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. I am holding our technical assistance session for Apprenticeship Illinois. Welcome to the recording. We will be covering everything today on recording as we have a lot of topics to cover. First thing that I would like to talk about, and I need to turn this over to Heather Lawrence, who is going to share this with you. We will be adding Apprenticeship Illinois to our help request ticket. So when you are logged in, am I sharing my screen? No, let me share my screen.
You are, Dee, I see your screen.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the outline. So when you are in Illinois WorkNet in the iWis system, you will see where your name is in the upper right-hand corner, and you will see this item called help request. This is going to be the new way to add a request for assistance to our tool so that I can triage an issue and then submit it to a programmer if necessary, or else send you directions about how to rectify something. This is going to be our new way of doing things, so that just in the event that maybe I'm out on vacation or I'm gone for a day or two, somebody else can then help you fix anything that is going on. So I'm going to turn this over to Heather Lawrence, and she is going to demonstrate this for you.
Thank you, Dee. I am trying to share my screen and it said,
just fixed it.
Thanks, Dee. Okay. So after you click the button inside Illinois WorkNet, it's going to drop you here onto what we call our knowledge base, or we also call it kind of the portal. So here you're going to see it's going to, it says, welcome to the help desk powered by Illinois WorkNet. Up at the top in this gray bar, we have return to Illinois WorkNet. So if you're just over here, just kind of looking around, but you go back to Illinois WorkNet, go ahead and click the highlighted section there. Next, we have project names and partner pages. And it looks as though I have not added Apprenticeship Illinois, but I am. And when you click the highlighted section, it will take you back to the partner page. So you can view all of the information and the details there. We have a video tutorial you can watch on how to submit a help request. We have written instructions you can click and open, and it's a PDF. And you can read those as well. And then down here, we also have an option to return to Illinois WorkNet. In this middle section, it's frequently asked questions. This has to do with more profile or user profile information. So feel free to click around on those and see if any of those help to assist you with any of your questions. Before you submit a help request, we have our knowledge base. So we have in this box here, please submit a help request or feel free to browse our knowledge base. If you click the knowledge base, it's going to take you to a list of all of our articles by project in the knowledge base. If you go through the list, and you're like, oh, I'd really just want to search for Apprenticeship Illinois, go ahead and click back on your home screen. And you can search by typing in app ill, and that will should bring up all of the articles then that are related to Apprenticeship Illinois. So if I click on this one's called App Illinois Reports. It says, utilize the following resource for Apprenticeship Illinois reporting tools. That's going to open up to a PDF, or you can visit the Apprenticeship Illinois resources. And this will take you to the link of all the resources for Apprenticeship Illinois. If you've looked through all of the Apprenticeship Illinois resources and you're like, it really just is not answering my question, that's when you would click the help request button. We do have a disclaimer here that says when submitting a help request, please clearly describe the issue you are having in the description box provided. I'll make sure to show you that box. We'd like that you include the browser information or link to the page where the problem occurred. And we ask that you do not include personal identifiable information like social security number or driver's license number. And after submission, you will be receiving emails from support@illinoisworknet.com. And I'm going to show you an example of the emails that come. And it's also going to say help desk powered by Illinois WorkNet. So we wanted to make sure that you knew who you would be receiving emails from once you have submitted a request. So here we go. So I want to go ahead and submit a help request. I'm going to go ahead and scroll in. In this top box, I'm going to keep it very generic for this example, but this is where you would summarize your issue. So I'm going to say the blue button is not working on the outcomes page. And then the description box is where I'm really going to put in my details. So I have tried clicking the blue button, I'm just going to say 10 times, and it is not taking me where I need to go. You could also include in here, everyone in my office is also having issues with the blue button. If you were getting an error message, you could attach it here by using the paper clip. So you would just save that image to your desktop and hit choose from computer. You can insert pictures. You can also drag and drop into the box or copy and paste into the box. Next, because you are Apprenticeship Illinois for the category, you would select Apprenticeship Illinois. Next, we have subcategories to help further break down the issue. Is it an application issue, assessments, closeout, discharge, customer profile, DHS policy, IEP activities, career plan, other outcomes, payroll, worksite placement. So if the issue applies to any of these, and it is required, so you'll have to select something. And if it doesn't relate to any one of these, just choose other. For this example, because I don't want to mess up Dee's reporting information on the back end, I'm going to choose test tickets. The next box is the CC box. We ask that you include, it's really helpful if you include everyone from the beginning on the ticket. That way everyone receives the same notifications, the same emails, just in case, just so we don't have to go back and add anyone later. If there's someone you want to include, make sure you include them from the beginning. And you can put many different people in here. If you've got lots of people in your office you want to include. I know I've tried to test at least 6 to 10, and it will include all of those CC addresses.
One of the people that you might want to include on this is if you're not sure if it's Illinois WorkNet or procedure or process or policy, you might want to include Chase Martin on a CC on your help requests.
Next, you're going to put in your first and last name, so whoever is requesting the ticket. For this example, I'm going to use Heather Test. So first and last name are required. And your email address. I have a Gmail account that I test for this, but you definitely need to include your email address. And then as a reminder down here, we have, if you have any other attachments, or maybe you forgot to put them in the description box, you can put them here. We do have an information bubble that says, if you acquire an error message, please type the error message in the description box above or attach a screenshot. Please upload any related screenshots or documentation to help identify the issue. And again, we just put in that reminder, do not include personal identifiable information like birth certificates, driver's license, or social security number. The next question is, are you a partner provider? If you are, then the organization box becomes required and the phone number box becomes required. If you have an extension, please include that too. You want to make sure that you provide Dee with as much information as possible so that she can help to better assist you and solve your problem accurately and timely. If I select, are you a partner provider? It's going to ask me, is this an issue related to a specific customer? If I select yes, it's going to ask for that customer's email address, their first name, and their last name. These details help us to look them up in Illinois WorkNet so that we can make sure we're seeing what you're seeing, or providing any other details that we're seeing to you. And then finally, the last question is the issue keeping you from moving forward? This button kind of sets the ticket on fire. If you need this issue solved right now, you just can't move forward. It is very, very important. Checking that box is going to bring it in to Dee on the back end with a high priority. For this example, I'm just going to say no, I am not a partner provider. And then you can see that is this a customer issue, or a specific customer issue goes away. And for this example, I'm going to say that this ticket does not need to be rushed, that it is not critical. And I'm going to go ahead and double check that I've entered in all of the information. And I'm going to click create. Next, it's going to take you to the My Ticket section. So the bulletin looking tab over here for your tickets. It's going to show me the help request that I just completed with the state of new, who it's assigned to and who requested it. You're unable to click on who it's assigned to or requested, but that'll show you those details. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on it. And I can see the details that I provided to Dee about my ticket. And you can see that Dee's already commented on here. She's already sent a message. What page is the blue button not working? Now, there are two ways that you can respond to Dee. If you get in here and Dee has already commented on here, or maybe you go and check it later on in the day, and you click on the bulletin button from the portal page, you can respond here and say, it is not working. And I'm going to keep this very generic. It is not working on the outcomes page or the overview page. And then you're going to click post. Otherwise, when you submit a new help request, you are going to get an email. And I have a couple different boxes open. So this is my, whoop, I just cleaned it out. Sorry about that. There it is. So you're going to receive this first email. I have two because I've already responded to Dee, or Dee's already responded to me. So I'm going to see that she commented. So you're going to see the first one down here, help request 105. That's just the incident number that it assigns in our system. It says the blue button is not working on the outcome page. This is the first email you're going to get. And it's going to say, thank you for contacting us. Your help request has been received. You will be notified within 2 business days if any additional information is needed and when your help request has been resolved. Business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30. and you'll see the incident number and then the description or the details of what you put in the description box. Now, if I go back to my email address or my email, I can see the second email that I'm going to receive. If Dee gets in there and she needs to know more information about your ticket, you're going to get an email that looks like this. Help request commented. It's going to have the same number because that never changes, but you're going to be mostly seeing that commented. And it's going to say your help request has been received and has a comment awaiting for your response. Please read the comment below. Click the reply button at the top of this message to respond to the comment. Please respond to this message within 14 business days. If we do not hear from you within this time frame, we may permanently close your help request. So you have 14 days to respond if Dee has sent you an email message that has commented in the title, and I can see her comment. What page is the blue button not working? So like I had said, you have 2 ways that you can respond to Dee. You can reply back to this email. And if you click reply, sorry, my reply button is at the bottom. I can put the same message that I had put on the portal page, or if you want to check your tickets by clicking on the button inside Illinois WorkNet, coming to this portal, and then clicking on my tickets, you can do that too. And you can comment with Dee in here. Finally, let's say Dee gets all of the information she needs. We let her know it's not working on the outcomes page or the overview page. Maybe it's just a quick fix and then Dee can help you. You're going to receive one last email. We're going to let her resolve the ticket.
What I will probably do is I will probably send a comment first before I send the resolution.
Okay.
That tells you what happened, just so that you can get that, so that you can check to make sure that it's working. But then otherwise, you'll get what Heather's just looking at.
Perfect. So I can see the last email, and if they come close together like this, you can see how it kind of, it's almost like it attached to the comment button email. So you'll just check your different sections. Here I can see that, this was the blue button is not working. And then I can see down here, your help request has been resolved. And then like Dee said, she'll send you another comment prior to resolving the ticket to let you know, if any additional information is needed or what was the fix or what you need to get through this. And then when it's done, she'll send you an email called it's been resolved. So up here too, I do want to point out that if you hover over the email address, help desk powered by Illinois WorkNet, you'll also see the email address support@illinoisworknet.com. That way you'll know it's not any type of phishing email or anything like that. So I'm going to go back. So we went over the home page, which is where all of this is. And again, I apologize. I need to have in this box under the project name, App Illinois, and it'll take you to the Apprenticeship Illinois partner page. And you can search for App Illinois articles here, or you can click the light bulb and type in App Illinois right here. And then finally, you can view your ticket and the state under the My Tickets section of the portal. Any questions about the ticketing system?
Thank you, Heather, for doing that demonstration. We will begin using this after Thursday. We have to program in that all of you will be able to have access to the help request. So beginning Friday, you'll be able to submit your help requests through the help request system. So thank you, Heather, for demonstrating that. I appreciate it. One of the things that I want to talk about next is, I'm trying to get all the little stuff out of the way first. And I'm going to take over sharing the screen. So on the partner page, we have the ability here for you to submit a success story. And according to the grant and your contracts, you're supposed to be submitting a success story once a quarter. So when you are logged into the system, you can log in and submit a success story for the participant. You can submit it, the participant can submit it, the employer can submit it, or you can log in and choose for whom you are submitting a success story. So if I choose this and I log into submit, I can submit a community story, which is something that the apprenticeship program implemented, is doing something for the good of the whole community. Maybe you have an employer that started an apprenticeship program and has experienced just wild success. Or maybe you have a participant that you worked with that has really gotten great successes out of being part of the program. I do have a recording on the partner page of how to complete the information. The top section is who is submitting the success story. This middle section is about whom the success story is being submitted. So don't get that confused. But once a quarter, we do need to have a success story added, and we have been missing some of that information. The other item that we wanted to point out to you was the events that you can submit for the event calendar. And one of these things is very good, especially if you're having workshops. And this does not have to be related just to Apprenticeship Illinois. It could be for any program that you are submitting through your organization. So if you're having an orientation, or if you're having a job fair, any of those kind of items can be submitted from the event calendar, and you can access this. And let me get to Illinois WorkNet. The event calendar can be found from the menu under Network and Connect, and you go to the event calendar, and then on here you can add an event. And if you have access to your agency, you may be able to manage and edit any events that are happening. So on the add event, you just have to agree to the terms of service. You do need to be logged in, and I'm logged in test on here, so I don't want to log in as this, but it does allow you to add the information. You can add images, you can add links. So all of that information is available. And if you have any questions about that, please send me an email. We'll get you connected with the right person that can help you with that information. Okay, the last thing on my agenda is what I wanted to share with you. Well, Before we do that, though, I'd like to give you a bit of good news. Our programmer that works on these tools just had a brand new baby boy yesterday morning, and his name is Nolan Richard, and he is very healthy and cute as a bug, and so that means that Cody is going to be out for a couple of weeks for paternity leave. So what we were planning on having released out for you this week is going to be held back for a couple of weeks because of that new bundle of joy. So I'm going to demonstrate this, and I'm going to just show you the overview because the tools are there, but we have to make a few adjustments. But that new alarm clock that Cody got is going to keep him from being able to get these released immediately. So on your Apprenticeship Illinois, when you are logged in, we have the navigator tools there ready to go. If you are a super admin, I believe that would be like Candace or Brian Richard, myself. We have access to this, but until we get a couple of updates done, these are going to not be available for you. We do have the navigator tools. This is what they will look like. We have resources available to you that you can link on if you need more information about any of these particular items. And then we have a couple of series of pages that can be adjusted, adapted, added to information. So first thing is going to be outreach events. We have the information available here. Once you have added some items, you see them in the list below here. This is one of the spots where we will probably be making the biggest adjustments because we're going to clean up the lists of outreach types of information that you can add. So you will pick your organization. If you have access to more than one, you will see them in your list and you will pick the organization. And then you will add an outreach event. You'll name it. So this is going to be demonstration, and oh, good gracious, demonstration, and we're going to do 118. We're going to select an audience type, and is it business or individual? So we have two different lists of types of activity depending upon whether you are business. These specific items are going to be edited, so I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about them. This is a whole lot more information than what we really need. We want to know if it was in person or whether it was through an email or phone conversation. That's what we really need to know. And so I'm just going to pick an event here, and then we'll need to know the number of attendees. We may be adding time of day, we may be adding date, those sorts of things. This is what we're going to be updating. And so maybe we're going to say there's, let's see, how many of us are there? There's 28 people on this. So then we can add a follow-up note. And this is going to be, that particular list is going to probably be edited as well. We can pick a calendar day. We'll put in a subject. And we had members from across the state. And we're going to save it as a case note. Then we're going to save. So this information will show up. Then we can save this. If we come back to it and we want to add some follow-up communication about this, we can click on the See Notes and we can add another follow-up note. So then maybe we have a phone call. It was a phone call. Whatever we're going to have in the list, we're going to have some more information. And Oh my goodness, I cannot type today. I'm trying to go too fast. And we're going to save. And so then we're going to save that there. So now we have our additional follow-up. And this is prior to actually having someone added into the system. We don't want this to be a whole CRM. We just want to be able to track some communication. So we're going to save that. Now, if we want to add another outreach event, and this one is individual demonstration. We have an individual here. The outreach type, how did they get us? Was it social media? Was it a website? Was it a phone call? Did they send an email? In person. Those are the kind of things that'll be in this list. So we're going to do a Facebook posting. And there were 2 people on the phone, and we got a message today. Message from APPIL Facebook. Potential participant reached out. Sent to intermediary provider. And we're going to save this as a case note. And then on this particular one, we may want to save it as a message and send it as an email and select somebody from the group to actually have that go to that person by email. So this is a good method to use to send it as an email so that you know that that person got the information that you're sending. So I'm going to send that and it's going out. So I'm going to save that, and then we can have all of our individual or business communication added to the system. And then these columns should filter by the top, by clicking on the top, whether you've got individual engagement or business engagement. I would suggest once you start using this to add a date to the outreach name, unless we are able to add a column for the date that the information was added. And I think we need to do that. So let me make myself a note real quick. All right, so now moving on to organization information. We have organizations that have been added. And again, we have to select our navigator. And then we're going to add an organization. And what this is going to do is it's going to search the Dun & Bradstreet database that we have associated through EBS. And I don't know how many of you are using EBS or not, but that is a very highly developed system to help with layoffs, warns, and trade events across the state of Illinois. And now we're trying to coordinate this with that for business development. And I think they will work beautifully together. So I'm going to look for an organization name. Do any of you know if you're actually listed in D&B? Can I add your organization? Let's see.
Hey, Dee.
Yes.
So the navigators might want to also keep in mind that when they go into EBS, sometimes they're going to run into business or DBAs. So like ConAgra Foods, one that us and 23 are working with, but they're actually Pinnacle Foods. So sometimes to go Google it.
So let's go look for Pinnacle Foods. Good idea there. And we're going to just leave it at Pinnacle Foods and Illinois. And I'm going to click search. Because quite often the less information that you put in, the better your search results will be. So right here, we've got Pinnacle Foods. We've got somebody in Melrose Park. We've got St. Elmo. We've got Effingham. So we can select whichever one we want to select. And what that will then do thank you for that tip, Lee, by the way, is pull in the information that we have associated with our association with D&B. Now, some of this information may not be currently up to date because maybe Pinnacle hasn't updated D&B lately. So that is something that we are also going to try to work on, is how to send the update information. Maybe it's by sending the information to the organization itself. Here's a link where you can update your information. We haven't quite figured that one out, but we will be looking to enhance this by doing that. When we are adding contacts for the organization, we can add a contact, and maybe it's John Jones. And all of this is in test. So, and we're going to do VP of HR and his phone number might be something, I don't know, maybe he's got an 800 phone number. And I got to put my dashes in there. And then we can add as many contacts as we need to that we met with. We can add those in here. We can also view the information, edit if we need to. When we add team members, these will be people who are in the system associated with your organization. So I'm going to add David Garvey. I'm going to add another team member. I'm going to add, Marcus. So whoever you need to add. We were just talking today about adding potential contacts like regional economic development people. Maybe they need to be part of the service team members. So if we have those kind of contacts, we may want to add those people as well. And then under organization notes, this is a note that you can add related to, again, we're going to change these categories on here. So just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to do contact date and initial set up. And the objective of case notes is to make sure that you can follow through with the information that's in there. Have you left yourself enough information that if you put this in on a Friday and you had a big weekend, you come back on Monday, you're going to remember what that all meant? That's where I have my biggest problems is sleeping. So that is the initial organization information. Now we want to come to engagement. And engagement at this moment is basically related to apprenticeships that are being set up. So when, again, we're going to select our navigator, we're going to add an apprenticeship. So I can look for an employer name, and we can select here. We can pick a work site. Maybe it's a different work site than the one that we had in there. And then I pick my organization. What type of program? Was it a new apprenticeship or was it an expanded apprenticeship? This one's going to be new. And then we put in the number, and I forgot the format of the RTI number, but I'm just going to make it up for right now. And we save that. Once we have that information added into the system, we have the ability to add industry recognized credentials And so when we enter the credential, and maybe it's going to be AWS, I'm just kind of, this is the only one I really know. So this is a credential. What's the source? Who's the institution? And then I guess this would be MIG welding instead. And when was it attained? I just noticed that this is going to need to change because it's what they're offering. And then, so we've got a MIG welding, we've got a funding source. What is their funding source from? When did they get it? They got that funding January 2nd. How was it offered? Is it matching and leveraged funds? Is it an employer association? Did they get it from Title I? Did they get it from one of the other acts? We're going to do employer association. They got $25,000. Save. And then are there other services that were offered? So we've got some DOL categories here. What are the items that they obtained as part of this apprenticeship? Are they getting some incumbent worker training services? And if so, was it an educational training investment program? Did they get federal tax credit? Did they get state tax credit? And if so, we're adding tax credits by the types. So we're going to add a federal tax credit here. What was the name? They got work opportunity. And when did they get those? They got those on January 3rd. And we verified that the tax credit was received, and we save. So then we can add the state tax credit if we want to. We can put, excuse me, where we got some information, a description, and dates when these pieces were added. So this is the initial layout. This was built with the guidance of people like Lee, and I think there were a couple other people on the committee. I can't remember their names right now. I know Lee was involved. There may be some, once we get into this and begin start using it, we may need to make some changes as we go, because maybe we're not collecting the exactly right data. So this is, as I said, right now available to only super admins, and we will have this hopefully out maybe within a week or so of Cody returning from paternity leave. Do we have any questions that I might be able to answer for you right now? Dirk's having a conversation with somebody else.
And Dee, just a disclaimer that you guys took a cherished loved one hostage and made me do this.
But your input was very valuable, Lee, so. All right, who else has any questions about any of this? Otherwise, I will end our recording and answer any individual questions that you might have about particular customers or associations that you have in the system. Any questions about anything that we showed you today? All right. Thank you for watching. If you are watching the recording, we have our technical assistance sessions on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday at 2 p.m. of every month. Oh, I didn't want to stop sharing.